Worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq hollering at you one more again. Yeah, worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Man. True indeed. Welcome to yet another episode of Buildin with Big King, as we are establishing a worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. You're building with Big King, joining me today once again for another magnificent conversation where we continue to together build the foundation for the new paradigm leading forward. One that we like to say exudes peace, love, respect. Man, true indeed, true indeed. I love meeting with your folks every single week. At this time, we do try very stringently to adhere to the synchronicity of 333, right? We were off last week just a bit, but today I announced that we're back on track. And we caught the synchronicity 333 once again. And while I'm on that, let me just bring the light and talk ever so briefly about catching, or why it's so significant to me to catch that 333 synchronicity. So, and there are folks, of course, if you did not know this, there are quite a few different systems of numerology, right, that could be observed or studied or practiced. You have a system that the Tibetan monks use. You have that of the Mayan priests and theological scholars would utilize, and several different esoteric systems of numerology, gematria, right? All these things adhere to several different schools of thought, but generally all are pointing you in the same direction in utilizing the science behind the numbers, right? And giving you an added tool that you can utilize, right, in navigating your way through your human experience. So with that being said, I like to lean on, and let me be remiss in shouting out the Nation of Islam's use of what they term the divine mathematics, right? But yeah, there are many different schools of thought. What I like to lean on is the usage of the 3 as the catalyst number, right? Making the way, or sort of priming the conditions for change, right? And that's pretty powerful. Change being represented by the 5, but the 3 is the catalyst that makes way for the change. And certainly we would consider ourselves, or at least I certainly consider all of you to be a great part of the catalyst energy for making change, as we are indeed laying the foundation for the new paradigm. Peace, love, respect. So that's a little bit on the importance of that synchronicity 333, and why we like to start off the podcast every week at that time specifically. When you multiply the numbers in the numerology, there's also the mathematics of adding the numbers up, 3, 3, and 3, coming up with 9. And then that also gives you another energy, right, that you can utilize as a guide. That guide, or that 9 energy, often represents born or birth or the beginning often symbolizes the beginning of a cycle or a new cycle. So we're the catalyst for a new cycle, the new paradigm. So quite fitting, right? Quite fitting as we lay the numerology, as we lay this foundation. We are actually playing out the numerology involved in that 333 energy. So I love that. I love that. All right, man. I appreciate all of you. If you feel like it, please say what's up. Holla at me one time, real quick in the chat. Announce yourselves if you feel like it. I'd like to say hi and salute you one time, as I do most certainly appreciate everyone being here with us today. Now, as for today's subject matter, which you'll excuse me, please, for not having already announced in the chat what the subject matter is. Okay, English nephew in the house one time. Thank you. There's your shouting, your salute, my brother. That's how we like to do on the podcast. Give everybody that powerful salute one time, you dig, and give acknowledgement. So we like that. All right. Anybody else that wants to shout themselves out or sort of announce yourself in the chat and give us an opportunity to say what's up and acknowledge you, we certainly appreciate you. I appreciate and love all of you. By the way, if I have not said that, please always know that. I can't do anything without your presence and continuing this forum and this place where we have this conversation. Hey, what's up, cuz? We got Elise and Mike here in the house one time, double two times salute. One time real quick. All right. So thank you all for coming in. I appreciate you tremendously. And for anybody else who for anybody else who chimes in, please let us know if you feel like it. If you don't feel pressured, you don't have to. Just the fact that you're here paying attention to the conversation is magnificent. And if you ever want to jump in, feel free to do so. I give a little bit just to go into the setup again. I give a little bit about what today's subject matter is. I'll talk very briefly about that. Sometimes not so brief. Y'all gotta excuse me. Sometimes I get on a roll and I start just going in on it. But yeah, man. We'll introduce the subject real quick, and then I want to most certainly delve into what you all think about that subject, and you can certainly jump in the chat with any questions, statements, any comments that you'd like to add. All right, so listen, today, without further ado, we are talking about something I consider to be very important indeed. And that I'm certain all of you will, as this affects the lives of each and every one of us, our family, friends, and so many of us affected by this, and every walk of life in some ways affected by this. So we got Big Lou from Braddock in the house one time. Here's your shout out, brother. There's your salute. Bang. Thank you, Big Lou, for coming on in. We appreciate you tremendously, and welcome to the conversation. All right, y'all. So we are talking today about fluoride. That's right, fluoride. The additive that is found in fluoride toothpaste. And I have singled fluoride out, but do know that there are quite a few things that will fall into the category of some of the concerns that we'll express in talking about fluoride. All right. So, folks, most of us growing up were always and can recall always seeing commercials, after school programs, right? Think about some of the stuff that used to be on ABC, right? And I'm a little older than some of y'all, but some of y'all may be my age and remember how we were really given a lot of imagery and a lot of advertisement sponsored, right, by the American Dental Association, right, approved and sort of given this flag of, hey, this is okay for you by the American Dental Association. Not only that, but that this is vital for the health of your teeth, for that of all the families and anyone, particularly in the western part of the world, certainly in the United States. I mean, we're talking about a really heavy campaign in schools. I can remember and I have a pretty vivid memory and a pretty long-reaching memory. I can remember back to like first grade and kindergarten type years, right? And I remember some of the things that we would do even in playing. They would have us with little characters with toothbrushes and little fluoride characters, and we go and brush the teeth and do all these things. So that shows you involvement all the way at like the child's earliest learning, okay, on up and through still today. Fluoride is advertised by so many of these they claim to be dentists. I don't want to say they're not. To me, it seems like they're actors. but we see so many of these commercials where these dentists will come on and sort of give these little testimonials and how they recommend it to all their patients and so forth, right? For all of these products that are fluoride-based products. So I say all that to say that there are some very significant things about this that we should consider and should think about how this impacts us, impacts the lives of our families and friends, and how we have actually been shaped in our thinking by social engineering to accept something as healthy and in fact vital for our oral health that many of us who with a little free thinking research have uncovered to be quite the opposite. All right. So what I'm going to read to you quickly is some information I came across, not even with any difficulty, provided by the National Library of Medicine. And it states, recently, epidemiological studies have suggested that fluoride is a human developmental neurotoxicant that reduces measures of intelligence. So, folks, in case you don't know, when they say measures, right, they're talking about exponential numbers. Measures of intelligence in children, placing it into the same category as toxic metals, lead, methylmercury, arsenic, and polychlorinated biphenyls. All right? Now, I want us to think about the breadth of this, right, for a moment. First of all, I think it's not difficult for us to deduce, and we can quickly have alarms go off just hearing me read out the company that fluoride keeps in its consideration as a toxin, a neurotoxicant. Okay. We have been spoke about. I cannot actually, I really wish that if anybody else is my age that remembers some of the stuff and how hard we were indoctrinated and pushed into this. Couple of things. Number one, the American Dental Association, we tend to look to and have been groomed to look to in American society as the authority on dental health, right? The same way many and most of us look at the American Medical Association as the authority in overall human health and in medicine as it is practiced here in the West. Okay. So that is to say that they have and certainly been considered to be the trusted authority. Okay. So now we have that's just one source, by the way, that I read. There's also, I believe, another article, I want to say by the National Health or the World Health Organization, but I could be wrong. So I'll hold off on that. I'll just leave it to what I read, right? But there are other sources that echo the same sentiment and concern over something that has been pushed to us, heavily indoctrinated into our minds as a necessity for oral health, for good oral health, for ourselves, for our children, to give this to our families. This has been pushed to us heavily for decades. All right. And by the way, this is not news to me reading this, but this is one of the most recent reports that I can relate to you. This is not something that I found out. Well, I did find out about it years ago, but this is not just some outdated. That was a recent. I should have found the date on it, but anyway, a recent publication, right? Revealing to us the seriousness of the health implications and the risks that are being taken by us and that we're making on the part of our families, of our children, right? Fluoride. Gotta have it, right? The little children's, the essentially baby toothpaste with fluoride or pushed to us by an organization that is supposed to be representing the best interest of us and our families, right? And fully backed by our government and with the full, so much so that this is taught to us in school and has been for decades. But all along, they've known this to be a toxin, a serious toxin. By the way, there are also some indications that it is one of the ingredients in some very serious chemical concoctions like Thorazine. Whoa. But we'll even back up off of that and just say that that's concern enough what I read. Right? Why are we pushing this to our children? And it is a toxin that's severely hampering and impairing their mental development. But then, wait a minute, and I'm going to jump in the chat in a second here. Brother Silo Tony Atlas in the building. Salute to you. I'm going to get to everybody in the chat in just one moment because I know y'all got some powerful things to say about this and some serious concerns because we all do. It's our families, right? When you do more free thinking research, and do not take my word for this, check this out yourselves. When you do more free thinking research, you realize and find out, oh, where do we get something like this? How did this become introduced into as part of our society so intrinsically, right? Excuse me. And you see, we actually got this from the Nazis. Would you say, Big King? That's right. Hitler first made diabolically genius use of this in the concentration camps as a way to do just what it said in the article that it does, to hamper the cognitive ability, the mental acuity of those who were held captive in those hellish death camps. And as a actual toxin that decreased their lifespan. Wow. And for many of you who are not familiar with or don't know, yes, the United States did accept over into its midst a large contingency of Nazis, Nazi influence and intelligence, and in particular, biomedical advisory from Nazi intelligence back in the 40s. Look into Project Paperclip, where some of those most diabolical of the Fourth Reich were brought in as folks. I couldn't make this up. Look it up for yourselves. Major heads of corporations, like the sorts of corporations that would produce toothpaste that would put fluoride in it. They were also a large part of NASA and all sorts of corporations and different, and even many governmental roles filled by these Nazis. Look into it for yourselves. And then when you put two and two together, maybe that might give us some sort of an explanation as to how we arrive at the point where we find out that an organization that was supposed to have been looking out for the well-being of us, our families, our children in particular, right, has been pushing for a toxin to be deliberately widespread and used throughout our nation, throughout our culture for decades, and it's still being pushed to us. Somebody make it make sense. That's what I'm hollering. I'm going to go to y'all in the chat real quick. Brother Silo comes in and says, cloves and baking soda, 56. Yes, still got all my teeth. True indeed, brethren. Thank you, family. Right? One of the benefactors, those who is benefited, if I can start talking right, excuse me. Those who have benefited from one of the elders passing on one of their natural remedies, right? Simple cloves and baking soda. 56 still got all his teeth. If I didn't follow the advice of my dentist and my periodontist, who all had me not only go from using the fluoride toothpaste, but to the heavily medicated fluoride toothpaste, they basically had me just leap up out the frying pan and jump right into the fire, right? And had it not been for me listening to their advice, I probably have most of my teeth. Maybe they wouldn't be having this log jam. What I got going on my bottom row. But anyway, same people that wanted to take all of my teeth 9 at a time, by the way. They told me the only solution for me was to take all of my teeth. This was probably close to about 10 years ago. They said, oh, they're going to fall out anyway in the coming months or whatever. It would be much better for you if we extracted them. And I said, well, there isn't some of them that can come out, some that can be said. No, they all got to go. You have this gum disease that's irreversible. There's no cure for it, no way it can be reversed. We have to take all of your teeth, and we recommend scheduling the clip of 9 teeth per visit. And they were going to systematically remove all of my teeth 9 at a time. Well, and at the time, folks, just to give you an example, or I'm giving you my real life sort of testimony on this, right? I had ridges beneath my gums, like if I were to flip my lips up and you'd see my gums at the time, I had these huge ridges. They were literally like hard. They were so hard, like I could like knock on them, okay? Of these ridges, of these formations underneath my gum. I would be in like constant pain all the time. I didn't talk about it much, but there would be some level or degree of pain I'd have all the time. I'd wake up in the AM, choking is how I'd wake up, because all night my gums would bleed and would start to clot in my throat. And it gets so bad, my airway would become partially obstructed and it would wake me up out of my sleep. I'd go get up, cough out, and I'm not trying to gross any of y'all out, but this is where I was at one point. Cough out and spew out essentially blood clots from in my throat where my gums had just been bleeding on that. This is how bad it was, right? Okay. This is following all their advice. Okay. Constant pain, the bleeding, all that. Okay, boom. This is where I was at with them. So I said, wait a minute, it clicked in me then. Well, I've been doing what these people have been telling me. I took the darn, years ago, they had put me on that, what is it called? Sensodyne, that heavily medicated fluoride toothpaste, right? And I can say it because I'm talking about my experience. So I don't have to be worried about being sued for saying what I experienced personally, right? So, okay. So I was on that Sensodyne, and my teeth and my gums got addicted to it. So let me back up a little bit. I made the decision that I wasn't going with their advice anymore. Why? There's nothing to lose listening to them, because they were yanking all my teeth out anyway. So I didn't do that. And I stopped using their Sensodyne, right? And any product with any fluoride in it. And my mouth went through a withdrawal period. This is how heavily, like, folks, when they say medicated on it, they're putting drugs in it, right? So my mouth was literally addicted, like a drug addict becomes addicted to drugs. My mouth was addicted and had to go through a withdrawal period. I went through that, right, with painful process, but moving forward. And after that, and after I finally got all of the fluoride out of my system, slowly but surely, I started to see some improvement. Before long, I wasn't waking up choking on blood, right, anymore. That had stopped, and then, wouldn't you know it, the ridges beneath my gums started to recede and go away, and they've all completely gone away. I couldn't do this before, y'all. I'm telling you, this would hurt. This would be painful because of the ridges underneath my lips. So I'm just trying to get you to see real life where the advice of the American Dental Association had taken me. Now, without fluoride becoming a part of my life, I have got about as much improvement as I guess I could get. Who knows? Maybe I got more. I'm putting no limitations on the bounce back of my body and the wonderful healing power of my body, right? But that's just a little bit of my testimony. I could tell you more, but let's get back into the chat. Big Lou says, sounds like toothpaste should have had a Surgeon General's warning like cigarettes. You would think. Thank you, Brethren, for that statement. Thank you both, Silo as well. Thank you. You would think, right? You would think that. And not only that, it's quite the opposite. Not only are they warning us, like, well, here's something that's out here, and if you guys are going to take it, at least know that this is, this could be toxic for you. No, they went the whole opposite direction and pushing it on us for decades, and still are pushing it on us. So now I want to look at this from another aspect, y'all, right? If the American Dental Association, again, the trusted authority, is lying to us and is bringing to us, I'm saying lying because, well, quite frankly, they are. That's from my testimonial. But if they are recommending to us, if they have recommended and are continuing to recommend to us toxins for ourselves, our family, our children, why and how could we possibly trust them? And if we cannot trust the so-called trusted authority, how many other so-called trusted authorities can't we trust in similar fashion? Let's think about that, right? Folks, this is more than just something we could whimsically discuss. This is something more than just a mid-level concern. This is something that we have to take not only with great seriousness, pause, and I would imagine for some people a certain level of shock, right? In processing, we have to look at the broad scope of this. What does this imply on a broad level about those who we should be placing our trust in, or whom we have, by proxy at least, placed our trust in as elected officials, right? And as organizations that either are recommended by elected officials or supported by our elected officials. Again, this is part of American society, folks, and it's a direct attack on us. How else could we take it when something that has, first of all, was already known to have been, it was even sourced through nefarious means. So, and then given to us from a trusted source, how can we possibly feel comfortable sitting back, one, and saying, I trust the advice of the American Dental Association, and two, probably the bigger question or the bigger perspective from which to look at this, can I trust any of the quote unquote trusted authorities with that, my health and the health that of my family, my children, anyone that I know, love, and care about? Now, let's not dive off the deep end, right? Not to say that there aren't some good folks out there practicing dentistry, not just like there are plenty of good folks practicing medicine as doctors. And some of those folks have come forward themselves and issued the same concern, folks. We've had doctors come forward and say, listen, understand that the practice I went to, medical school for and what I was trained in is not one of healing, right? We're taught to diagnose and then treat with treatments that don't heal, but they continue to treat these symptoms. But we never actually heal. I mean, how many things, think about it. Now, I'm sending this out as an open question, and I've raised this question in similar ways in the past. How many times, or when was the last time you actually recall going to the emergency room, for example, but to the quote unquote doctor in general, whatever the medical specialist may be, and actually walking out feeling like, hey, I've been cured? I'll give you a minute. Now, you may have walked out with, some form of a diagnosis. Well, we know it's not this. It looks like it's not this. It's not this. It might be this. It might be this. It might be that. But when's the last time you went in, you were told, hey, you have this. This is going to cure it. Right? And you're done. Think about that. But you know what you do have just about every time you go into any sort of a medical facility? A prescription. Just saying. Look, if I'm lying, I'm flying. Y'all know. Let's keep it real. You might not know exactly what's wrong, but you're going to leave out with a prescription if you need one. If you don't need one, if you think you need one, or if you don't think you need one. I'm just saying. Maybe in a world where we know it to be fact that there is a group of individuals who would even identify themselves as being part of a depopulationist movement, such individuals being amongst the socially economic elite who have the most financial resources, the most power and influence, the most means in the world. The same group who placed on huge monolithic tablets engraved in expensive stone, right? For over 40 years it sat there, telling you that their mentality was to see the world population reduced to and kept below 500 million. And we all know we live in a world, on a planet, where there are close to 8 billion human beings. Let's connect the dots. You have these globalists who are also of the movement of depopulationism, who've been in place long time now, y'all. Long time. This is nothing new, right? Go do some free thinking research and see how far back eugenics goes. Oh, wait, whose family is a part of that? And have been for Mr. Gates. Oh. amongst many others, right? Folks, I'm telling you, we have to take up the mantle of free thinking in all things, because if we're not thinking freely, we're thinking like slaves whose direction in life is steered by their slave masters. I'm just telling you the mental processes of how we're thinking, right? When something as serious as our own health and the health that of our family, our children, is at stake, do we have the luxury to just be told something and believe it without questioning? Especially when we've seen a track record of these depopulationists who are the heads of these major corporations that bring these products so effortlessly to your doorstep, right? And we see what they're doing with them. So you tell me. Don't let Big King say it. You tell me. Let me get back in the chat. Brother Lou, Big Lou says his people were clicked in with Margaret Sanger, the eugenics queen. Thank you, family. So we do got some folks out there who know a little bit about who we're talking about, who we're dealing with. Folks, there's a reason why I'm always talking about the socially economic elite. They are literally the people who have the most direct influence into every institution that affects our everyday lives. Ours, that of our families, the lives of our children, our grandchildren, etc. Folks, we can't afford to not pay attention. We can't afford to not blow the whistle, to not, let each other know, whoa, slow down. That might be bad for you and your family. Now, the means in which we do so, we never want to be offensive, and we never want to be preaching at anybody or anything along those lines. But, if I know that as soon as you turn around the corner, right, there's a blind spot in the ditch there that you might likely turn your ankle on, because I just turned mine on it, and I don't say anything, that's wrong, right? That's all we're talking about. We need to spread awareness about this stuff, y'all, because they not telling us. Right? Instead of having our backs really the way we thought and hoped that our government and governmental organizations and organizations that may be supported by other government organizations or elected officials, instead of them having our back, what have we seen? Right? We've seen that in every time they've been given the chance, rather than having our backs as the public, they're looking out for the best interest of the corporations that bring us these products so irresponsibly, who are headed up by the same individuals with the same mentality that would rather see less human beings than put their resources towards solving the problems of the world. They'd rather have less human beings who know little so that they can maintain control than putting their resources toward real solutions for the masses. That's who we're talking about. So that's why I'm constantly focusing on what's happening in the real world, right? While we're all so distracted by the conditions, in the system that they put in place. Don't be misled about that. The system that they put in place, where we're constantly distracted in the rat race trying to pay our bills. We got to work. We got to, at least a job, maybe two, some of us three, right? I've worked three before. Many of you have as well, right? Feeding our families, distracted constantly, and at least never given the opportunity to build up enough energy, enough curiosity, inquisition to start to think about things that are outside of that box, right? But that do, in fact, affect us in the lives of of our family, our children, and etc. So these folks are the same folks who yield the influence behind the American Dental Association. These folks are the same folks who yield the influence behind many governmental organizations. These are the same folks who yield influence over the very lawmakers. Huh? How was it that Monsanto, the wonderful agricultural giant that used to be, they've since merged with Bayer, the pharmaceutical giant. Oh, big shock. But how is it that Monsanto had been given by our Congress essentially blanket immunity for any claims of ill health or detriment to our health sustained by the consumption of bioengineered food ingredients? How is it that our Congress sought to do that? I mean, they never asked me about, did they ask y'all about that? They never asked me, because I certainly wouldn't have been cool with that. Yeah, they gave them immunity. So here, essentially, they gave them free license. Go ahead and experiment on the American public. Let us know what you find. Holler back in 20, 30 years. Don't worry about it. We got you back. Nobody will sue you. And here's this, right? Straight out the American people's pocket to experiment on them. We're not going to tell them. They'll find out in a few decades. Right? That's another layer of this that's so deep. How is it that all these toxins and ways to essentially bump us off, not just that, but all of these different schemes that are toward our detriment and are geared at getting us out of here, just like they put on the stones for over 40 years before they got blown up, the Georgia Guidestones. Look into it, do the free thinking research. You'll see what I'm talking about if you don't know, right? Aren't we seeing the fruition? Aren't we seeing being brought to fruition their plans, their thoughts, their ideas, their schemes, their agenda of depopulationism right before our eyes, and they make us pay for it? That's a heck of a thing. You basically, so picture this. This is some serious gangster-ish right here, right? You're the elites. You step to the people, we know it's billions of y'all. It's only a couple of million of us, but yeah, we fitting to knock most of y'all off. Oh yeah, and we're gonna make you pay for it. What? You're gonna make us a little bit richer in the process. Here's a nice slap in the face for you. Turn that other cheek for me one time. That's what they're doing to us, folks. It's that blatant. Man. at some point, we got to stop just following, right? That's why I always say never just take what I say and just run with it, or anybody for that matter. Do the free thinking research. When you start doing the research is what makes it so deep, because you start doing research into your stuff and you're like, damn, they're not even hiding this. I mean, that's how deep and how bold they are with it. I'm not giving you something that is like this, incredibly hidden. You gotta decrypt it and go through it. This stuff is right there. You just gotta lift your head up for a moment and do a little bit of research and see it for yourselves. I didn't go through some great exhausted research to come up with that information I read you about fluoride. It was easy. It was right at my fingertips. Took me a couple of seconds to pull it up. Folks, whoa, we got to pump the brakes on these cats. This is why I say, and this is why this remains the position of me in the worldwide movement, peace, love, respect. We don't have time to focus on combating or fighting each other and being separated and divided the way that we've been, the way they've wanted us to be, right? Along all of these different lines, supported by all these isms, sexism, racism, classism, right? All these different ways that we're fighting against each other. We got races fighting against each other. We got men and women fighting against each other. We got different social classes fighting against each other, different schools of thought, different religions fighting against all these reasons why we're all fighting amongst one another and got a bone to pick with one another, so to speak. But none of us, or seemingly none of us, right, are saying, wait a minute, let's slam the foot on the brakes and stop. Let's just stop for a minute and say, whoa, damn, while we fighting amongst ourselves, these cats are planning on knocking all of us off. Huh? Almost 8 billion? Down to 500 million? Come on, folks. I can't be the only one, you understand, who's concerned about this. My man, King Flouride, thank you for, salute to you, brother. Thank you for joining us again. It's been a minute, brethren. Sister Carrie, thank you for being in. Salute to you. Appreciate you tremendously. Everybody, thank you so much. King Flouride comes in and says, hey, I finally caught one of your live sessions. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, brethren, and I'm joining at the right time. Yes, you are, man. I appreciate you tremendously. We're a while ago, I jumped in and just highlighted how serious we got to all take this, folks. We don't have time for them to dismiss us easily and whimsically by just saying, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. Don't pay no attention to Big King Sadiq. That's just a conspiracy theory. I just read you the official. You understand what I'm saying? I told you, they're not even hiding it. If I can read their materials and their materials are saying to you, wait a minute, yeah, this stuff this is poison. I mean, folks, we gotta literally like take a couple big scoops of that water out the sink and right? And like really get to some point where we say, okay, all right, y'all, let's get serious now. We're all adults. Black, red, white, yellow, whatever. I don't care what your race is, where you're from, what your religious denomination is, man, woman, don't, whatever. whatever your sexual preference is. I don't care about none of that. I'm saying if you're breathing right now on this planet and you're not a multi billionaire or trillionaire, then you probably fall into the number of that 7.5 billion folks. Seven in the, let me, I wish I had the little slow motion button where you, wah, 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 wah. 7.5 billion people. That's what they say gotta go. That ain't me saying it. Go and check and see what they put on the Georgia Guidestones for over 40 years right in front of our faces. And if they wasn't serious and this wasn't something they plan on executing it, folks, they would not have put it on marvelously expensive stone. I don't know if it's what kind of, I forget what they said, the different kind of stones that were used in it, but they're all expensive. And the whole undertaking took millions of dollars to pull off in the cloak of the middle of the night, right? How they went through huge means just to erect the Georgia Guidestones. But then to put at the top of the lead stone, the very first statement that they want world population down to less than 500 million and maintain there. And we know there's almost 8 billion people on the planet. How are they even bold enough to do something like that? And for us to sit back and just be cool with it? Come on, man. Folks, let's be real with one another now. Let's prove to the socially economic elite that we're not sheeple. I told you before that that's what they call us, sheep people, that they can just steer and herd like sheep. I'll tell them whatever we want. Oh, we need you all to wear these masks everywhere you go and to stay in the house and don't go to work, don't go anywhere, everybody stay shut in. You know, by now, I'm hoping that most of us are aware by now that all of that has been dialed back. Oh, our bad. That was actually the wrong thing to tell you to do. You know that by now, right? So think of how many of us actually turned on each other. How many times were you walking down the street and had somebody look at you if you decided that you didn't have a mask on for that, even for a moment? How many people balked at you if you didn't adhere to social distancing? Yes, folks, I know, don't get in your feelings. Do the research. It's come out that all of that was the absolute wrong advice for us to have been given. Don't take my word for it. Get to looking into it and see what you find. Right? Folks, we have to question things much more. We have to do a much better job of vetting things. We do. We have to no longer be complacent and comfortable enough with the authority that we just go along with whatever we're told or prescribed to do. Because we've been shown, it's evidenced, we've just lived through a set of scenarios where we were given specific instructions by the authority that be, only to find out it in fact was not for our best interest and was not the best way to go. We got to start to trust ourselves, our own intellect, right? Our own ability and wherewithal to locate identify, and implement information that is beneficial for and necessary toward maintaining the health and well-being of ourselves and our families from an independent perspective rather than one that is made up for us or that follows a specific agenda. Specifically, it is if it is the agenda of someone or some group that does not have our best interest or the best interest of our families in mind. How could I say such a thing of governmental organizations or organizations that are supported by our elected government? Because the evidence is right there in front of us. They recommend things to us that are harmful. It's that I could make that statement with great confidence that I'm not saying anything wrong or untoward, right? Or in whatever way. I'm not slandering anyone, right? This has been proven, and the proof is right in front of our faces. It's up to us whether we pay attention or not. King Thuy came back in. Thank you, brethren. My bad. He came in and said, I'm continuously telling people around Pittsburgh about autism, as people seem to be very insensitive to adults with high functioning autism. I have a quote unquote autistic cousin who I've had in recent years some very enlightening and wonderful conversations with. Many of you may not realize, but many of the world's quote unquote savants are autistic, right? We tend to write off people who are autistic as well, in ignorance, we would just say they're retarded or something like that, right? And that is an ignorant word to use. But that we often tend to fall back on ignorance when we lack information and facts, right? We tend to fall back on ignorance and what we were told, right? Sister Carrie comes in and says, wow, I still give people the side eye when they don't cover their mouth when they cough. So I need to check myself. Well, listen, Sister Carrie, that is very forthcoming and very brave and honest of you to say that. I salute you, first of all, in that regard. Second of all, it is very introspective for you to be able to step back and take a look at yourself and your own behavior. I salute you further in that regard, right? That is very honorable, and I really commend you on that. But I would also say it's not your fault. How many people have been literally socially engineered into thinking and behaving automatically in this way? I don't think any of them to be bad people. I don't think the little old lady who literally dressed me down and cussed me out, a stranger, right, as I was walking down the streets of downtown, just because in passing me I didn't have a mask on. I don't think her to be a bad person. I saw fear there, right? And isn't that what they tend to use as the trigger to get us to conform? Fear. Folks, it gets so deep. Look at the illustrations that they constantly put on TV when describing the coronavirus, right? They might as well took right out of them. Mr. Yuck is mean. Mr. Yuck is green. They might as well took right out of that. I mean, that was something positive use for the sticker, okay? But they're using those sort of mental triggers and illustrations to get the fear factor up. So then they can advise us and engineer us to feel and think that way. So I don't blame you at all. And again, I salute you for checking yourself and saying, well, maybe I should think twice about that. King Thuy says, I wish I can speak with you right now as well. King Thuy, Project Paperclip. Yep, I talked about that, brethren. I know you down with that, family, just from our conversations. There are factual government documents out here to back up the things you're saying. Thank you. I know that, brethren. Thank you so much. And everyone can know that too, because like I said, there's nothing special about me and the research, my ability to go and do research. You folks can do this the same way, and I know many of you do. And I applaud and salute all of you for that. Right there I go again, putting together the words. I said applaud. That means salute and applaud. I took and put them together anyway. Yeah, but and that's the beauty of this information age that we're living in right now. So much more is coming out and getting declassified, folks, right? Completely different subject, but we're living in a country with a government that just released or declassified documents that show that more than likely some faction or element within that government was responsible for the assassination of one of our presidents, especially at a time when he started asking questions about things like this. Not about this, but things like this. So what I'm saying, folks, is this government that we have seen arise and that we've put into place got some splaining to do. Right? They got some splaining to do. Yeah. That's an old time thing. I love Lucy and the Desi. Okay, y'all. I'm a little older, I know. Brother King Thor comes back in and says, I was just speaking to AI and I realized I am AI because as I've stopped being a yes man, I realize now that I speak my mind. People dislike me more and more and ask, why do I care about people so much? That's an interesting question to ask. Think about that. I get his point. He's essentially saying, in his standing up and speaking out about and against these things, he is essentially exhibiting a great deal of care about people. And there are a lot of folks out there who are awakening at a very much more slowed pace. I'll put it that way. And such individuals would make a statement like that to him, like, why do you care about people so much? Like, I know a lot of said people who tell you flat out, I hate people. Period. I hate people. But then again, some of the same people you'll see making statements like, F my life. Just showing how social engineering has impacted people a little bit. Not social media. Don't get the two things confused. Social engineering, purposeful, manipulative efforts done to engineer the mentality of society along with and according to the agenda of the socially economic elite. Two different things. Social media, a series and network of platforms with which the public or people and the masses are able to communicate with one another, often in more free-thinking terms than is traditionally supported by mainstream legacy media. Two very different things. Wanted to differentiate real quick. King Thoy jumps back in. First of all, before that, Carrie caught that to the I Love Lucy joint. Okay, baby. Yeah, I went in there a little bit, right? Big Low says, they don't dislike you. They are afraid of you because most people are afraid of the truth. Thank you and well said, brother Big Lou. And King Flouride coming in, man, with just contribution after contribution. Man, I started playing with this a little bit last week, y'all. Let me get in here and start throwing y'all out some type of acknowledgments, some little emojis or something that show how y'all just dropping it, man. Yeah, explosive, right? Here goes some explosive stuff, and here's some wind joints. You blowing them away, right? And there's some more explosions, and y'all just blowing them away. You blowing me away. This is magnificent, y'all. Okay, let's get some stuff in there. All right, man. Just so I can show y'all, man, that y'all's man, this forum, I love this forum. Thank you all so much. First of all, this forum is magnificent, and y'all get in here and to show the level of consciousness that we're attaining as a group, right? Is just magnificent. All right, and then back to King Thoy, because people don't care like I do, and AI told people on the spectrum are extremely sensitive to words and are unconditional lovers as uh, neurotypical, okay, use of religion and politics as a deflection. Yeah, people do that sort of. That's how you know it's training, right? It's the result of training because they do it almost as reflex. So yeah, true that. And Big Lou got back in. Big Lou gets back in and says, "I get the same treatment, especially on social media." Word bomb. This ain't, hey, brother Silo. This ain't Big Lou from. Is this Big Lou? Is this you from Brad Up when we used to make the music back in the day? I just put two and two together, man. Hey, another salute to you. See how it. Now look, could you imagine? Man, we go from that to this in 2025. That's powerful. For those of y'all who don't know and realize what I'm talking about, which most of you wouldn't, this brother used to make some powerful music back in the gap, as Brother Silo used to say, and would make some music with Brother Silo, some of our favorite songs. Those of you who may not know, soon there will be another musical release called the UC Legacies, I believe we're calling it, something like that, where we release some old school UC stuff, and some of Brother Silo's music will be there. Big Lou said, "I still make music," and so do I, brethren. We got to do some work. True that. I'm actually, for everybody, so that you know, please go check out my music right now. Whoever doesn't, I have an album out currently on all the platforms: iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Music, all that, etc. Just search Big King Sadiq, and you can always go to my YouTube channel. My album is right there, Big King Sadiq. Big Lou, please check out my stuff, man. But just so that all of y'all know, everybody, please check out my stuff. Please check out all my music. Everybody, please go buy my books. I have 2 books currently on Amazon. First title is Peace, Love, Respect. This is the New Way, right? Second title is Ascension Path, Best Self, Best Life. Both of those are available on Amazon currently in paperback and ebook, right? Either way. And the first title, Peace, Love, Respect, This is the New Way, is also available on audible.com as an audiobook that I've narrated myself. And by the way, I believe it's official now that I can state, I better wait. I got some news about the first book. I better wait and make sure I can get the official word before I state this. But anyway, please go and get those books. They're very affordably priced, only $14, man. I'm just trying to get the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, the love out to the people. Please help me by doing that. All right. But yeah, we got to make some music. By the way, I started to say I'm back in the studio right now on the second album, folks, just so you know. The first album was 8 tracks, 8 songs. There is 11 on this album that'll soon be released, probably within a 30 to 45 day period. I'll give you the exact release very soon, release date. But yeah, so we got to get in touch with each other. I guess that'll probably be easiest through Brother Silo. Word life, man. That's dope. King Thoy comes back in and says, you didn't incorporate the feature to send your money. I don't, that's something, y'all, that I'll admit, I don't have all of the features in place where I see a lot of folks take donations and so forth. You know, maybe that's me. I just have never been, I always wanted this just to be something I brought to everyone. But yeah, I mean, I gotta eat, I gotta live just like everybody else. So but yeah, honestly, by buying my books, so buying my music, if you should see fit, listening to my music even, um, that is a big help in of itself, right? I'm also available for lectures, if you folks weren't aware of that. If you look on my YouTube channel, one of my lectures, or maybe both that I've done down in West Virginia, are there. There also should be an interview or two that I've done where I was interviewed, and also some interviews I've conducted. So please check this out. I don't have a Cash App. Maybe we'll start to create something like that start next week, folks. I have considered that. I just have been one to not really ask for money, you know, but you know, it's real. You know, I put what I put into in my books. I publish my books on my own dime and time. The same thing with my music. I pay for all my studio time and all that. I do everything on my own dime and time. But that's because I love y'all. You know, I mean that when I say that, and I hope all of you know it. I love each and every last one of y'all, and this is more important to me than many of you may know. So that's why I always thank y'all and make sure that I am not remiss in doing that. Jump back in. King Thoy says, speaking of the result of training, Sadiq, did you know at a billionaire lecture? I'm sorry, I got this. Let me take this thing down. Okay, I can see. I apologize, y'all. I had this little emoji thing blocking the chat for a minute. Speaking of the result of training, Sadiq, did you know at a billionaire level they ask about the zodiac and astrology before they do business? Yes, I did, folks. He's absolutely correct, and it would surprise you, or probably blow you away, how many high executive meetings in the corporate world and at high levels within the government, they take in and give credence to astrology, numerology, and many other esoteric disciplines, right? Um, they take it completely serious and utilize it. And then every chance they get, they turn around and tell all of you it's hogwash. I'm sorry, y'all. It is a little funny. It's serious, and we got to take all this serious. But the boldness that they exhibit, it's like I'm blown away sometimes. Like, man, I can't believe some of the stuff that they get away with doing, and in the bold fashion in which they do it. It's like so right in front of our faces. I kind of just gotta laugh sometimes. Like, damn, they're wild. Yeah, it's a trip. All right. But yeah, I did know that. Sister Carrie comes back in and says, your wisdom shouldn't be for free all the time. You should eat from what you share, period. Thank you, sister, for that level of appreciation. You don't know how much that means to me. Thank you. I appreciate that tremendously. You know, years ago, and when I say years ago, I mean like years ago, long time ago, you know, people could take on a journey like this and just travel the world, and they wouldn't really have to worry about, you know, anything to eat or where to sleep or nothing like that, because they go traveling from village to village. People put them up right in their crib, you know, feed them dinner and all that, because they realized they were on a journey that was furthering and for the betterment of all of us, right? But we don't live in those times. So all that is real, and I acknowledge that. And for thinking of me in that way, I truly appreciate all of you, and thank you very much. King Thor says, "Oh, I just viewed you. Need 1,000 subscribers to monetize. That's why you can't do it yet." Yeah, true that. Yeah, I do need my subscribers up, y'all. Believe it or not, there's actually some metrics that I did reach for lower level monetization that they did not implement. And there supposedly is someone behind the scenes at YouTube looking into that. They haven't gotten back to me yet. I don't know. But as of right now, my channel is not monetized. I am actually closer to monetization on my rumble.com channel, which I implore all of you, please support me through my rumble.com channel, BKS Light, BKS Big King Sadiq Light, right? On rumble.com. Please, everyone who's a subscriber here, please go there and subscribe as well. That would aid me tremendously because those folks are ready to monetize me now. I'm like just barely off the metrics. All right. But thank you, King Thor, man, not for chiming in, for adding so much to the conversation. Sister Carrie, Brother Big Lou, Brother Silo, Cousin Alicia, Brother Michael, everybody. Am I forgetting anybody else who English, my nephew jumping in here, and anybody else and everybody else who has been in here. Thank you all tremendously. I honestly can't say how much I love and appreciate all of y'all, right? I don't drop tears out of sadness anymore, but I do drop tears of joy from time to time in celebration and just thinking about the love that I get. Not only in the establishment of this forum, man, but just walking the street. To have people stop me from time to time and be like, "Hey, Big King Sadiq, that's the dude, YouTube, whatever," and just bust it up with me. Oh, Sister Heather, my dear friend down in West V. What's up, Sister Heather Tokus in the house one time. So wonderful to see you with us today. But yeah, by the way, I want to just tiptoe back. Today's subject matter talking about fluoride and how it has been recommended and even pushed on us, indoctrinated into our minds by the American Dental Association and other governmental and governmentally supported organizations, even in school, right? To a large degree, we were all taught this, and it was really pushed and engraved in our minds. So we're talking about that and the fact that an organization that we would have held, and many do still hold as the trustworthy authority on oral health, has pushed such a toxin to us for so long. And that is indicative of what we see, unfortunately, in many other organizations who are the trusted authority, right? So, excuse me, we have to really make sure that we are asking questions and doing our own free thinking research. That is of the utmost importance right now. Truly it is. King Thoy comes back in and says the movie They Clone Tyrone was very literal in telling people what they're doing to society, although people still validate toxic music, unhealthy eating, etc. Right. Yeah. Big A, King Thoy, man. Let me give you some more, right? And some blowing you away. Oh, I hit the wrong joint. Hold up. Okay, well, that's water. You're drenching it with knowledge, brethren. You get the point, right? Some more explosions. All right, cool. So, yeah. so many movies out of Hollywood, when you start to look back at things with this discerning eye, right? Um, you really pick up so much that's right there laid out for us. And he's spot on with all of that. They were telling us, like, with the mute, that hold up, the artists have come out and told us how the record execs and so forth come to them, and they have them, they specifically request, and in some instances force them essentially to produce the kind of music with all these negative low vibe triggers in it, right? um the corruption that you'll find within the lyrics and the actual tracks, the recording them on frequencies that are low vibrational frequencies, all of that purposeful efforts, um, that is laced within the music and the TV. Word bond, brethren, I see that. We definitely connect. I'll hit you up a little bit later this evening for sure. I got a little bit of editing to do and a couple of things right after the podcast, but I'll definitely hit you today. Excuse me. So he's absolutely right with all the things they talked about in that movie. The food, right? Think about the different scenes in that movie and how they were highlighting different ways in which we've been attacked, literally, by different arms of that uphold the agenda of the socially economic elite, who are, of course, of the same people who are these depopulationists. By the way, when it comes down to the music industry, I hope you all know by now that many of the same people who own the major record labels and companies are the same people who have invested so heavily and most heavily in the private institutions. Doesn't that just go hand in hand? You give the people, the youth, a bunch of thugged out music to listen to that tells them to commit every crime in the book that'll get them locked up so they can get locked up in your penitentiaries. Come on, man. We can't fall asleep at the wheel on things like this. They do it so boldly right in front of our eyes. It's crazy. Absolutely ridiculous. All right. So big King Thor says, what's the book by he was getting ready to say something, and then Big Lou came in and put Liar Cohen. Okay, word life. Oh, who? Okay, he's talking about who's the book by the book about the movie they clone Tyrone. Liar Cohen. Okay, okay. Get that, check it out, folks. Get that and check it out. I'm not familiar with them, so I can't. That's just more information to check out. Thank you, Sister Carrie, for helping me out with the emojis. Man, this has been that. It's been an explosive and a powerful conversation. Y'all been on fire. We've been on fire together. Violet fire that is illuminating and bringing light on something that we definitely needed to shed light on. All together, we did that. So I salute and appreciate all of you. Thank you tremendously. This has been a magnificent conversation, as it always is in this magnificent forum, right? Quite frankly, I salute all of you and I thank you all. I love you all truly. You don't know how much I appreciate you, how much I appreciate this forum, how much we are growing as a worldwide movement, right? By the way, that is one of my songs on the new album. I hope y'all like it. I love it. It gets me every time I listen to it. It gets me hyped. But anyway, yeah, man, we are surging powerfully forward together, and we have to continue to inform one another. We need to start to organize more, right? Which involves us, from time to time getting together, having meeting whenever we can, just getting together and building together, y'all, is powerful when we do that. There's a third energy when just two of us get together that is created, a synergetic energy that is powerful. So we need to do that as much as possible. We need to continue to think in free thinking terms and with our research and our conversations with one another. And we need to be very thoughtful of how we can be actionable on this information and what changes we can make in our lives individually, for the lives of our family, and collectively, right? That's when we really start to take the power that we can give one another and put it to use. When we inform one another and put each other in positions to exercise that information, that is empowering one another, right? And that's what we're all about, empowering ourselves towards solutions as we move forward and we navigate through all of this, right? We really have to. I just looked at my shirt. That bothered me. Like, why I keep leaning up one side? Little stuff. I always have a good time, y'all, too. That's another thing. One, I just had a conversation with somebody earlier who I kind of provide spiritual mentoring to, so to speak. And, just them looking at the world and how, and they bring some things to my light as well. It's never one way with me, y'all. Every time we have a conversation or we interact, I'm learning and taking from you the same way you may be learning and benefiting from me. Thank you, brother Silo. One love, peace, love, respect. Sister Carrie, thank you. Thank you so much, baby. I appreciate your love. King Thory, man, thank you tremendously. He said it's pronounced Lee. Or let me get this thing out of the way again. Oh, Lee or Cohen that Big Lou shared. Okay. Oh, it's pronounced Lee. Okay, Lee Cohen. All right, cool. Lee Cohen. Look into Lee Cohen, y'all. Is that author? But yeah, man, love to all of y'all. Thank you all so much tremendously. And we got to continue to get together in both in this forum and whenever and however we can, right? And really start to put ourselves, empower ourselves into positions where we can come up with and move on actionable solutions to all of this, right? Because that's how you really start to come into power, is when you take the knowledge that you gain and you put that knowledge and information into action. That's power, right? Because the knowledge itself is a form of kinetic energy. And when you put energy into purpose and give it direction, that's power. That's power. All right. Man, does anybody else have any statements that they'd like to make about today's subject matter or anything relative to it? Any comments that you would like to make or add to the conversation, or any questions that you'd like to ask? King Thoy says, so at Sadiq, create a QR code to share with people while you're out and post flyers. Okay, word life. I'll look into that, bro. Thank you, man. I will look into that, truly. And I will, y'all, look into maybe some way of maybe taking donations or so forth. I don't know. We'll see about that. But certainly, you all please know that you helped me tremendously by buying my books, currently available on Amazon. Please do that, and please spread the word. Buying my music and listening to my music on all the streaming platforms. And everyone, please go to my rumble.com channel, BKS Light, B.K.S. Light on rumble.com. And please subscribe to that channel as well. I think just like 25 or 30 more subscribers, and they'll begin their first level monetization on that channel for me. So please, y'all, help me out and please spread the word. Everybody, please subscribe to my rumble.com channel, BKS Light on rumble.com. B.K.S. Light, Light on rumble.com. Right? All right. Yeah, man. So then Sister Carrie comes back in and says, wonderful topic as always. Thank you, sister. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate your participation as always. It means a great deal to me. Thank you. All of you. Thank you. You mean a great deal to me. King Thor comes back in and says, Sadiq, I can either give you money when I see you or buy your book online. Which one? You can get it online, but also, folks, here's something I should have thrown out there earlier. I do also have my own inventory. You can buy the book from me. And if you buy the book directly from me, in person, hand-to-hand exchange, I give you a signed autograph copy. So a little bit different from online. But yeah, you can also buy the book from me. So, brethren, if you want to, I have actually both of my books in inventory right now, my first and second book, and you can buy them from me. I would tremendously appreciate that. Thank you very much. Or you can always go online if you prefer to get the ebook or the audio book. The only one I have, of course, is the paperback print version. All right. Big Lou says, yeah, Lee Cohen runs the hip hop industry. Okay. Oh, Lyra Cohen. Okay. Lyra Lee Cohen runs the hip hop industry. I will look into that. Always good to run into another enlightened brother. I had a ball here, Sadiq. Hey, man, thank you. Brethren, you really brought a lot to the conversation, as you all did. And I appreciate and I love all of y'all. Thank you for real. Seriously, from my core, I appreciate all of y'all. Sister Carrie says, type that in your chat. Forgive me for lack of connecting the dots. What did you want me to type in the chat, sis? I'll do it right now. And King Thor says, at Big Lou, I watched that interview with Lee Cohen, and he acted as if he didn't know the bullshit he did to Damon John in the industry. Dig that. Word life. And y'all, that's another beautiful thing about the chat. You can always ping back and forth. Oh, my Rumble. Let me put the Rumble in the chat. Okay. Thank you, Sister Carrie. BKS Light. Rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. Dude, I forgot his name. He got so famous off of that. Okay, rumble.com. Please, everyone, subscribe. All right. Thank you all tremendously. There is my rumble.com channel, y'all, BKS Light. Please go there and subscribe. King Thor says, Big Lou and Sadiq, we got to go live together. I used to promote, and now I'm tired of the facades because people aren't appreciative of genuine love. Dig that, man. And it is genuine love. You know, y'all, there's a reason why I have literally rededicated my entire life to growing this movement. I mean that, right? So yeah, it's because I love all of you and so appreciate the love that I get back. So thank you. King Thor says, I want to buy the book from you. Sure, you can, brethren. We can meet up. I'm going to actually be getting out tomorrow. I'm probably going to be posted up. So I didn't say this either. Sometimes, y'all, I go to different areas and do what I call pop-up book signings, where you can buy those a signed copy from me. Excuse me. The typical places where I do that at is East Liberty on Saturdays, usually on Saturdays in East Liberty, right in front of the little strip right there where all the stores are typically at. I won't be hard to see, believe me. Or downtown, usually in Market Square, although I'm looking for another location downtown as well. And up in Squirrel Hill on Murray Avenue. Not far from there's like a little corner there, caddy corner from the theater. So yeah, tomorrow actually, even though it's not any of those days, I probably will be up in East Liberty because I got to have some inventory on me, and I'm going to be getting out with some books tomorrow. So we can meet up before I go do that, which probably would be the easiest thing, or you can come and see me in East Liberty, or however you want to do it, bro. I'm going to be calling you later anyway. Thank you. Really, I appreciate your support tremendously. The price. Oh, and there's another little added bonus. They sell for $14 on Amazon. But what I have been doing for folks who give me the honor of allowing me to meet them in person and buying the book from me, and furthering the worldwide movement, peace, love, respect, in that manner, you can buy the book for only $10, and you'll get a signed autograph copy right there in person. Another little bonus for coming and getting it directly off me. All right. King Thor came back in and says, I'm buying the book from you today or tomorrow. Do you have it? Yes, I do. Thank you tremendously, brethren. We will make that happen. Thank you. Heather comes in and says, have a beautiful week, and thank you for all you do. Thank you so much, Heather. She says, we all appreciate you, and I appreciate you all and love you all. Thank you so much, really. King Thor comes back in. Correction, it's Dame Dash that Lyra Cohen didn't acknowledge. Okay. And Dame, hey, y'all, thank you for that, King Thor. Oh, brother God, size 7 in the building yet again, my brethren. Thank you, man. This brother been riding with me. Thank you. I appreciate all y'all been riding with me. I thank you so much. Truly appreciate you. Got any new music coming? Yes, brethren. I am in the studio right now recording my second album. I was telling everybody the first album had 8 tracks, 8 songs on it. This second album has 11. Out of the 11, I've already recorded 4. And next week we'll be recording the 5th. And within 30 days to 45 days time, I will be releasing the album. And soon, much sooner than that, I'll be giving you the release date. No doubt. Thank you, family. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that tremendously. Carrie asks, what time do you be in East Lib on Saturday? I work there on that day. Oh, usually between like 11:30 noon to like 4:35, somewhere around there, something like that. Yep. Usually. All right. Man, I love all y'all. Appreciate y'all so much, tremendously, truly. Again, thank you all for all the questions, man. That's so much love right there. Everybody asking all these different ways that you can support me and show love and keep the brother going. Y'all don't know how much that means to me, right? It really means a lot. So thank you. And we're going to keep rolling with the worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Like I said, that is one of the songs on the new album, God Science, just so you know, brethren. That's one of the tracks. Worldwide Movement. That might be the title. I don't know. I don't even have a title for this album yet, so that might be the title track. We'll see. I don't know. But there's a song, Worldwide Movement. Man, it gets me going. It gets me hyped when I hear it, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a quick question, foreshadow, or a little bit of nugget I'll drop. I asked the question at the end of that song: what happens if we get just 10% of the world's population mobilized against the agenda of the socially economic elite? Well, that's about 800 million folks. Think about that. That's the worldwide movement. Man. Woo. Yeah, man. Thank you, God Science. I appreciate that, bro. I'm gonna be dropping that, and I'll be thinking about you and the fam here in the forum as I do continue making these songs and putting this together. So far, y'all, I'm really excited about the direction this project is heading. So, you always want to be improving as an artist, and I feel that way. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. All right. You want both books? I got them for you, King Flouride. Thank you, my brethren. I appreciate that tremendously. Man. Yeah, man. So this is y'all are magnificent. I can't say enough about you. How much I love all of you, appreciate you tremendously. And I mean it when I say y'all keep me going. This forum pumps so much energy and life into me, surging powerfully forward, right? With the worldwide movement, peace, love, respect. And I got both dukes up because I'm ready for the fight, y'all. They can't. It ain't even a fight no more. They can't stop it. There will be no stop to the worldwide movement, peace, love, respect. We're going to continue growing and growing and growing and building in momentum and strength. And yeah, man, they didn't taken a few shots at your brethren, but I ain't going nowhere. If y'all really knew the lengths to which they've already tried to take against me, you'd be like, wow. But I don't even give it enough credence. We ain't even finna talk about all that. Just know I ain't going nowhere. Big King right here. Huh? I ain't going nowhere. I love all y'all. Thank you. King Thor says, if so, use OBS to stream on multiple platforms at one time. Okay, so that's dope. That's something else we could talk about in person, because I want to start to stream on my YouTube channel and my rumble.com channel at the same time. So, all right. Anybody else have any other comments that they want to add to the conversation? Any other questions they want to ask, or any other statements that they want to make relative to this subject matter or anything surrounding the worldwide movement? True indeed. All right. I'm going to let a few more seconds go past just in case, but otherwise, if not, I look forward, as I always do, to seeing y'all with me next week, right? For another podcast at 3:33, catching that synchronicity, right? For another magnificent conversation about another powerful and important subject. Man, as always, y'all get together with me right here. And I can't thank you enough for this podcast, the forum that it presents, and for all that it has become because of all of you, right? Sister Carrie said 3:33. That's right, baby. Sharp. 3:33. We're gonna catch the synchronicity. Excuse me, and talk about another powerful subject, right? Every week. We're going to try to have something very powerful for us to build on and continue to surge powerfully forward, finding these solutions, and most certainly laying out and building this foundation for our new world paradigm, one that we like to say exudes peace, love, respect. So again, thank you all so much for this forum, for this podcast. Thank you for all supporting me, all your questions about how you can support and donate to the brother and all that. Y'all know how much love that is. Thank you for buying my books, the music, and viewing all of that, all the ways y'all support. Thank you for subscribing to the rumble.com channel. Thank you for everything. I appreciate y'all. I love you all. And next week, we'll be back here once again, building, laying the foundation, building this foundation for the new paradigm. Peace, love, respect. Thank you all. I love you all. Yeah, that's right. Pop that salute out there. I salute you all right back. Thank you, Sister Carrie. Thank you all. And I'm going to say to you one more again, until next week at 3:33, worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq. I'm out.